Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for my January plan with me. Sorry for the delay. The holidays are my favorite time of year and I took time to focus on my family, but I wanted to share with you this simple setup I've done for January this year. It's a new year, so I'm breaking in a new journal, but this is my new journal. I use this cheap set of pens and these stencils for my January setup, and I will link them all below. Super basic supplies, and if you're brand new to bullet journaling, this is a great setup for you. But I wanted to flip through my new journal. It is by Buke. I was looking for affordable notebooks with thick paper. This is 160 GSM, so we'll see how it performs this year. I will link this below if you're still looking for a notebook, and you can check it out with me if you want to. We'll see how it works out, y'all. But so far, it's very basic, and I'm really digging it. Okay, so my plan is to use this Snowflakes stencil set. Snowflakes are great for any winter month, and if you don't feel like you know how to doodle, stencils are a great bullet journal hack. I got these pins for Christmas. I think it's Ain Art. They're very affordable. There's a lot of color options, and they're dual ends. We have a brush end and a fine tip. So here's how we're getting started. I'm gonna go January and snowflakes everywhere, all over my cover page. So the first thing I did was use my ruler. You can use any ruler. You don't have to use my favorite green ruler, though I'll link it below. I found the center of the page, and then I'm just using the black pen from that marker set. There's the brush pen's gonna be great for coloring, but I'm hoping the fine point end will be good as just a black pen for setting up my journal. And this is just really simple lettering, kind of tall, skinny capital letters. I do use these a lot, so I'm pretty decent at them, but it doesn't have to be fancy. All right, for colors, I want to go blues and purples. I pulled all of these out. I haven't tested them all, so I'm crossing my fingers a little bit that I will like all of them. And I am just going to use different stencils, different size shapes of snowflakes, and I'm going to use the brush end of the markers to color the stencils in. So it's not even really tracing for this part. I'm just gonna color them in, which is super simple. Anyone can do this. And then we'll see how it looks in just a moment. And there's a snowflake. And it's super easy to just add a bunch more in different colors. You can also do multiple colors in one snowflake. That's the great thing about stencils. Just hold the stencil in place. And once you finish one color, come back with your second color and fill in whatever parts you want to be that color. And you'll get a little different look, but with the same stencil set. And this is my January cover page. This is gonna be a super simple setup, so I'm gonna go straight into the monthly calendar now. This is also very basic. I've used a ruler to measure out my calendar and my pencil and eraser. Don't be afraid, guys. It's okay to sketch everything out before. I still do it. So I'm back to the black pen. It's working okay so far, so I'm gonna see how it goes on setting this calendar up. I did, since I was in a new journal, on the very back page, went and counted all my dots to see if they were the same as last year's journal so that I could figure out my basic measurements. I recommend doing this anytime you have a new journal. Just go to the very back page and use it for notes, counting, measuring, checking pins. That's what my last page always is, kind of a hot mess. But I am just drawing out my calendar boxes for my monthly spread. And I will do 4 on one side of the page, 3 on the other. You could split them any way you wanted though. And then I go back in and I erase, so you never see my sketch. I start my monthlies on Sundays like a calendar, so I'm gonna label these since the first day of the month was a Friday, and then I'll have Saturday. I'm just doing, that's just my own little capital letter handwriting, and then adding the numbers. And you can use your own handwriting. If you don't think it's good enough, just practice over and over with your own handwriting. You don't have to get fancy. Okay, so I'm going with the blue and purples here. I'm going to do my lettering in the blue and purples, and we'll see. I just wanted more color and not just black, so we'll see how this turns out. But still, no fancy lettering, y'all. Just me and my capital letters. A little skinnier than normal. And then I decided I wanted to include a quote every month. So I have to remember I said this, right? But I want to include just a little quote, kind of a motivational quote on each spread this month. And so I'm gonna remember it. I'm gonna remember it, y'all. I promise. So for January, it's you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Just felt kind of motivational for this year. Now I'm gonna add snowflakes to this page too, but I want them to kind of look like they go behind the calendar. So when I hit the edge of the calendar, I'm going to not color that part. That's how simple it is to get that look. And I haven't pre-planned any of these snowflakes. I didn't take time to sketch them or anything. I'm just picking as I go, trying to switch up the colors. And I think it's going to look pretty good in the end. So it's a really easy way to get a colorful layout without having to be a doodle expert or feel like you're some great artist. You can do it, guys, I promise. So in keeping this setup simple and useful to me, I am now just gonna have a habit tracker page and a mood tracker page. Those are the pages that I use. My monthly calendar and my trackers. I use them the most, so I don't need a million other pages unless I wanna add fun collections later, which is fine. You set your journal up the way that works best for you. So these are gonna have the snowflake theme. And for the habit tracker, I've found one that has 31 spaces, 31 little objects to color. So I'm gonna use it as a tracker. We'll see how this turns out in the end. But I pulled out the gray pen and I'm going to try to trace the stencil, not color it in. So I'm gonna trace it and then it should have 31 little spaces I can color in as I go through the month and track my habits. For a snowflake theme, you could always just do boxes. You could do 31 boxes, label it, and then just have snowflakes around, kind of like my calendar page I just finished. Or you can try to get creative like I am, and we'll see how it turns out. I think it's gonna look cool. And I'll probably, though, need to pull, instead of using markers to track my habit, I'll probably maybe pull out colored pencils. Seems like it might be easier because, oh, I do like it. That's pretty cool looking. Some of the spaces are pretty small, but with a colored pencil, I could get them all filled in. So I'm gonna label these, and you'd have room for as many, well, not as many. I usually only track 3 habits at most. And right now, the new year, I'm focusing on 2. I'm doing sleep, because y'all, I'm still working that, and getting out and walking every day, getting the 10,000 steps. My water that I've been tracking last year, I'm doing pretty good on. Okay, so for this mood tracker, I had the idea to trace 31 of these snowflakes. So there was one to color in for each day. I think it will look really cool, and especially once it's all colored in. But as I've gone through and done the stencils here, I will tell you the biggest challenge on this page, see this one I'll just color in the middle because those little outer parts, I could only really trace them. And it filled them in. The trickiest part about this is time intensive. It's not hard, but getting the 31 snowflakes, I didn't make you watch the entire time. It took me a little bit of time, but I think it's gonna be gorgeous once they're all colored in, I hope. And fun, but you could do boxes with just the snowflake theme as well. The last thing this page needs is the key, and if you've been with me, you know that I like to rate my moods with a number. It's something my therapist taught me, and so I rate my moods on a number scale from 1 to 10. So 1 to 2 is like a chill day. My mood is great, it's mellow, because I'm rating usually my anxiety and depression. That's what it started as. I'm doing fairly well on my journey with that. So I may rate that, or I may kind of rate my general mood, still keeping with the 1 to 2 being a mellow day, a really good day. And here you can see, I'm not sure I left enough space, but we'll squeeze in 9 to 10. So 1 to 2 is like a calm day, I'm doing great. Then it amps up a little at 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8 is not a great day. It's you know, tough. And then 9 to 10 is, it's a bad day, guys. So like 10 on this, I don't want a 10. I want to be chill at a 1. And then I'll color in a snowflake for each day. I think it'll be gorgeous. And it was easy to set up, just time intensive, y'all. So this is my January 2021 setup in my new notebook. Thanks for coming and checking it out. Again, I was late because of the holidays, so now I basically need to go work on February probably. Everything you need to do this is linked below, and please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you'd like to see next. I hope you all have a wonderful new year, and thanks for supporting the Petite Planner.